We are now going to start learning how to name molecules. Naming in chemistry we call nomenclature. And the first type of molecule that we're going to learn how to name is the alkane. And we've already done a little bit of this. We did a little bit of this yesterday. We're going to learn how to name 3 different types of alkanes. And what we did yesterday, without even realizing it, you learned how to name unbranched alkanes. An unbranched alkane is a molecule that has just a straight, continuous chain of carbon atoms without any carbon atoms attached. The unbranched alkanes were all shown to you in table 12.1 in your book. So we looked at this table right here. This is the straight chain or unbranched alkanes. And this table I told you if we were in class like normal class, I would ask you to memorize these, but since we're not meeting face to face, I just want you to be able to use this table to look at a molecule, match it up with the molecule in the table, and come up with the name. And the names are all over here on this side, and it's giving you the molecule in condensed structure or in molecular formula or just by telling you how many carbon atoms there are. So you've already seen that. And yesterday we did some examples of if the molecule was a ring or cyclic, you would just add the prefix cyclo to the front of the name for a ring. So we looked at something like, I think we looked at this molecule right here. 3 carbons, because it's a ring. Its name is cyclopropane. In that name, the cyclo part of the name tells us that it's a ring, and the propane part of the name tells us that it's 3 carbons. So that much of it we've already done. The second thing that we're going to work on is naming branched alkanes. Remember yesterday I defined what it means to be a branched alkane. So this is going to be a molecule that has a chain of carbon atoms, and there is at least one carbon atom hanging off of that chain. So we're going to go through the steps. I'm going to give you a series of steps that you need to take if you want to name a branched alkane. The first thing that you have to do is find what we call the parent chain. The parent chain is the longest continuous chain of carbon atoms. So when we're looking for the parent chain, we want to start at one end of the molecule. Let's just start on the left end. We want to start at one end, and we want to count carbon atoms until we get to another end. Here's next carbon atom right here, and we want to keep counting to find the longest possible continuous chain. So you can see we don't want to go up here, because if we go up there, our chain of carbon stops. What we want to do is continue to go from left to right, so we can come up with a carbon chain that has 4 carbons in it. So this is going to be the parent chain for this particular molecule. That's our first step. Once we have found the parent chain, the next thing that we are going to do is number it. Number the parent chain. We are numbering the carbon atoms in the parent chain. And we are going to do this starting at the end of the chain that is closest to our branch. So let's redraw this molecule so we get it nice and clean. Got that right there, and we said our parent chain was right here. What we want to do now is number the parent chain. We're going to number the carbons starting at the end closest to the branch. The branch is the thing that's hanging off of the parent chain. So this is our branch right here. We want to number the parent chain starting at the left side because that's the side that's closest to the branch. And we're just going to number in order 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Pretty easy. Once we get it numbered, then step 3 is to locate, find, and name the branch. Sometimes the branch is called, aka also known as substituent. Branch and substituent are used interchangeably. So what we want to do is locate and name our branch. In this example that we're working on right now, I'm going to redraw it again. I'm going to renumber it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice that we don't number the branch. We only number the parent chain. And we said our branch is this guy up here. So first of all, where is it located? It is on, the branch is on carbon number 2. That's its place. And then the second part of this is, what is its name? To name the substituent or the branch, we're going to look at another table that you have in your textbook right here. So this is the names of branches or substituents that you can get coming off of a carbon chain. And the way that this table is working is that it's saying if your branch is 1 carbon, just a CH3, and this line here is showing that this is where it would attach to the parent chain, that branch or substituent's name is methyl. If you have a 2 carbon branch, its name is ethyl. 3 carbon is propyl, 4 carbon is called butyl, 5 is pentyl, 6 is hexyl. And you don't need to worry about ones bigger than that. So we have our branch, this little guy right here, we have to find out how many carbons does the branch have. This branch has 1 carbon right there. It's a 1 carbon branch. So go back up to our table. The 1 carbon branch is named methyl. And so that is the name of our branch. Now sometimes students wonder when you're counting how many carbons are in the branch, how big is the branch, what is its name? Sometimes students wonder, do I only count this guy right here, or do I also count the point of attachment? Do I count that carbon when I'm naming my branch? The answer is no. Every carbon atom is only allowed to get counted 1 time. So if a carbon atom is part of the parent chain, that's how it gets counted. It's being counted in the parent chain. And if it's counted in the parent chain, it cannot also be counted in a branch. Every carbon atom is either in a branch or in a parent chain, but never in both a branch and a parent chain. So once you have located the branch, carbon number 2, and named the branch methyl, now we, step 4, put it all together. We start by putting the location of the branch, and then we name the branch. And we put that in front of the name of the parent chain. So the location of our branch is 2. the name of our branch is methyl. We have a little space in between the 2 and the methyl. And we separate the location from the name with a dash or a hyphen. And then we put that in front of the parent chain. Our parent chain is a 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon chain. Let's look back up at our table of unbranched alkanes. 4 carbons we call butane. So that's the name of our parent chain, butane. There's no space or punctuation or anything in between the name of the branch and the name of the parent chain. So it's all jammed together as one word. Now, one thing that you don't have in terms of naming branches and substituents in your book, it's pretty common to see these branches or substituents, and it's also pretty common to see halogens as branches or substituents. So you could have a chlorine as a branch, or a bromine, or an iodine, or a fluorine. And if you have any of those as substituents, we call them chloro, bromo, iodo, and fluoro. The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to practice naming a molecule that has one of those halogens as its branch.